I'd always look forward to being a dad. So when Zion was born, we were so excited. Couldn't believe that our firstborn was here.
When he came, it was that ecstatic moment of crying and laughing, and it was just such a joyful moment.
It's pretty crazy to think that only 8 days after he was born, we would find ourselves rushing to the ICU.
Zion's heart rate is at 250 beats per minute. They immediately brought us back, and everyone started rushing around, doctors and nurses, and took us to this room. And when they grabbed him from my arms and strapped him to a bed, I started to realize that this was more of an emergency than I thought. So after the doctor talked to me, all I could do was sit there. I heard him crying in the next room, but I knew that I couldn't go back in there. It was just too much for me to see him there and not be able to pick him up. I knew he'd be hooked up to all kinds of machines, and I just couldn't handle seeing him like that. But I knew that Talon was there with him, and that was enough for me to just know that his daddy was not going to leave him.
I remember being back in that room with Zion, just watching him, looking down, holding his little hand, wondering, am I going to get to hold him again? Am I going to get to bring him home, tuck him in at night, or even teach him how to ride a bike? Was I going to get to be his dad? At that moment, I realized that nothing else mattered.
When I was a child, my parents were pastors, and they looked around themselves at the people in the church, and they saw that people were hurting each other, and they were hurting their kids, and they didn't know how to stop. And the worst thing was their kids were becoming just like them. The Lord brought to mind Malachi 4, 5, and 6, which says, "Behold, I send Elijah the prophet before the great and terrible day of the Lord to turn the hearts of fathers to their children and children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the land with a curse." My parents asked God, what can we do to stop this curse from coming? When we look around today, you can see the curse already is coming. It's already here. Divorce rates are rising. People are abusing their kids more than ever. Worse than ever, people are neglecting their kids. People have forgotten what's important in life. And that's what's compelled my parents in 1974 to start Elijah House, a ministry of writing and teaching and counseling that's brought healing to people on every continent in the world.
So when my son Zion was about 8 months old, I never thought I would find myself in a place in my life where I was so selfish. Ended up turning to alcohol as a way to escape. All I could see was myself. When my son was born, he was the most important thing to me, and I would do anything for him. I ended up finding myself in jail for 7 weeks. Went to a life rehab center for 6 months. The worst thing about it is I can't believe how unaware I was. There was still something in my heart that was still blocked off. Didn't know what it was. I ended up receiving some counseling from Elijah House. That's finally when I was able to really see my heart and see what was in the way. Funny thing is, I was repeating something that my dad had done when I was Zion's age. I thank God that someone helped heal my heart enough so that I was able to be what I needed to be for Zion.
I look around and I see a lot of people getting honest with themselves and saying, being born again, brought a lot of change in my life, but it doesn't stop there. There's got to be some ongoing change in my life. It's got to be real change. I'm hurting people whom I love. I'm hurting my kids. I need help. And so Elijah House is finding new ways to bring the message that we found, to bring healing to the hearts of people. And as we see individuals get healed, we see families get healed. And as we see families get healed, we see the world beginning to get healed. And the curse of Malachi 4, 5, and 6 doesn't have to come. And that's the legacy we need to bring to the next generation.
I thank God that someone helped to heal my heart enough so that I was able to be what I needed to be for Zion, so that I don't hurt him again in the same way that I've done before. You know, it turns out that I did get to tuck him in and teach him to ride a bike. And best of all, God had taught me that the only thing in life that matters are the relationships that I invest in, starting with my family. Okay, get ready to bounce. Awesome, buddy. Good job, buddy. Woo!